Okay, I've been asked to make a special card. Let's show you the supplies. So first and foremost, I've got Claritystamp. It's the actual stamps, and you receive the actual masks to go with it. I've got the usual archival ink. I've got a sparkle stitch card, which is just a linen cardstock. I've got a bit of parchment in green for me. I've got a Caterpillar die set. That's from Kanban. They're on special offer at the moment, and I'm sure Craft Stash have got some as well. And I'm using the smallest of the scalloped circles. First thing we're going to do is we're going to stamp the usual bits. The paper I've got, the paper is the Claritystamp designer paper, which is laces. Well. They're really good. So let's hope this does it right. Oh, one thing to remember with this is I have taken the foam out of the bottom of this because the stamps are quite thick. So there you go, perfect. Okay, so I'm just going to use the mask. This isn't something that you've got to do, but it's something that I've found that makes it, just give it that little pop shadow behind. Okay, and I'm just going to use one of the finger daubers, and you can just use your archival. If you've got one of the other inks, it's up to you to use it if you want to. Okay, you don't need much on there, and of course go from the centre of the stamp working out. You can't believe how much this pops it. So you don't need too much, and you don't realise how fast that actually gives it a quick shadow. Okay, let's take that off. There you go, look at that. Just gives it the extra little definition. The next thing to do with this one is you want to fussy cut this out and just chop this off to the size ready for your card as a topper. And the other one you need to do, of course, is the parchment. As I say, you want to do the smallest of the scallops if you've got that. If not, it's literally, let's go for the English. Okay, so it's just over the 2 inches. I suppose if I do it on the other way as well, we've got 5.5-ish if you're metric. So as I say, you want to cut out through your machine just about 7 of these. If you want it to be a really full dress, then you're going to need it to have about 9. I'll leave you to do that. Right, I've now made sure I've got the bits that I need for them, and that's just if you want it to have a little bit of definition coming out of the page with the skirt as well, and then the basque coming out as well. Now these ones, you're going to make basically a little cone. You can have the scalloped ones, you can have straight ones, it doesn't really matter. I've found if you give it a little bit of a twist first, and then finding the end of the tape, double-sided sticky tape is your friend. I've found it the best way, especially with parchment, to actually make it stay still. Okay, and you're going to do this for all of the cones. Okie dokie. And literally that's all you're doing to make the cones. Okay, so if you carry on with all of these. Okay, I've made all them. Now the next one you're going to do is you're going to put some tape down here just to make sure that they stay in place. I suppose you could do wet glue, but with it being parchment, as I say, I've found that it's not as easy. Okie dokie. And okay. If you make sure you put that on and burnish it, it makes it a lot easier to come up. I think I've been given a tip where if you want to put down a bit of kitchen roll, then your tape can come off a little easier, allegedly. So I'm going to start in the centre. That's my first one. and then you're just working your way around. Okay. So I'm going to make one so it's not as full, I think. Okay, that's them on. And then if you put a little bit of tape just above that as well, so if it's got plenty of tape to hold on to, it tends to stay in place a lot easier. Okay. Okay, and the other one I've done on the previous. You just get yourself a bow and some hot glue, then you can put that on there. Okay, glue gun's nice and warm. Let's stick this on. Oh, it's on that side, it's better. Okay. Lovely. I'll just finish this off a little thing. Okay, let's make up the card. Right, I've done my card. You can actually have it so it's open folding that way. You can have it so it's that way. I found that with the weight of it, it's easier that way, and it tends to stand a little easier. Let's just finish that. Okie dokie. So, let's go with some pads on the back. I think I'm going to go for the slightly thinner. I'm just going for a couple of mil. So let's go to that. With this card as well, any sentiment can go on, whatever you want it to be. I class it as a girly card. I think you might do yourselves, but that's up to the person it's going to, isn't it? So, okay. Okay. It just gives it a little bit. And of course on the back, you can do your wet glue, you can do your tape, it's up to you. Let's go with the glue. Another one you can do is you can do your layers. So you can put this onto a little bit of mirror card, something like that for the layer, and then stick it down, and you can embellish in any way you want to, whether it be your drops, nuvo, whichever way. And another one I did have a little play with on my original is, of course, I put the cosmic shimmer on. So just give it a little bit more, but I did find that it made it a little blurry in the background. So that's the original, and that's a quick copy. Okay, so I've put it with its little pop on the back. That's the new one, and that's the original. Hope you enjoyed the video.